Okay, so this is a quick recap of where we're at. We sort of ended sort of a cliffhanger last time. We are on, we're in Watcher's Climb, the region to the north of Rayuna there, which looks like this. And you guys are on the eastern slope of the mountain, also known as Mount Jumala, and which is honored or worshipped as a kind of natural force, apparently by some creatures that live on its slopes, but then also by these humans who have inhabited this ancient. So there's Watcher's Climb, and you're on the eastern slope of it there. So there's like a big dramatic cliff that drops off, and the cultist hideout is right at the edge of that cliff. And here it is. And when we last left off, Paiviki and Taimi were there. And so Armas and his daughter Minya are awake in the tent at this point. Two of those mutated creatures are present. There's a campfire right in the middle of that area. Muirin is not nearby. Muirin is back at the campsite, right? Back with Topias, back at the Topias and Itzy back at the wagon. And there's a moment where Paiviki goes to so these two mutated cultists emerge from the prison pit, and Paiviki calls upon the Weave of Force to drive out. They've clearly been altered or mutated or possessed by this otherworldly force, and Paiviki tries to drive that force out, and in so doing, inadvertently opens up, sort of tears open reality, and through that tear, and I should say that at the moment that happens, that the campfire kind of like flares up in a huge gout of flame, and we're in, you and Topias, where you are, whoever's on watch, we'll say it's you, down the mountainside, you see this from that distance, it's just like a little kind of orange glow kind of briefly illuminates that the landscape down there.
So like it goes like into the sky.
Yeah, it sort of like flares up enough. I'll say maybe like the whole fire flares up maybe 20 feet into the 30 feet into the air, and it's just enough kind of sudden bright firelight to be like a clear from your perspective further higher up on the slope, but some distance away. It's like this orange flash essentially. You don't see any actual flame because you're too far away. It's just like you see the light.
Right. And it's not like a flare, it's just like flash and then
exactly. It's gone. Like poof, it's gone. And Taimi and Paiviki and Father Ilka find themselves facing Behind himself.
Oh, good job, Jason.
Wow.
Is this the same sort of thing where like the red stuff is kind of like a skin, and there's like bone protrusion like coming out of it?
Yeah, exactly. There's like some kind of leathery hide over something that looks like either chitin or even has like a metallic quality to it. In the other creatures, the cultist creatures, those spines that emerge from them, like you haven't had a chance to inspect them up close, but they have almost like an iron quality to them, or like maybe like a hard chitin or chitin, however you say that word. Like a beetle shell kind of quality to it. So there's this kind of ragged rip in the mundane plane, and through it you see this figure against this backdrop of dark flames, and So Paiviki is not, I think you were using your magic with your bare hands, right? Or did you
Yeah,
have, yeah, so you had your hands, but I mean, you have your weapons handy, but you had your hands out.
yeah.
Taimi is pretty not in great shape, right, John?
HP wise, I'm fine,
Okay.
but RP wise, no, I'm not. I'm still woozy, shaky.
Yeah, I think adrenaline could help you out some, but yes, you were just kind of overtaxed by having to pass that that poison that was in your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think when we pick up this kind of hole has opened up. There's a cultist creature on either side of Vihainen. And if you guys recall, Vihainen is a creature that existed in basically nursery tales, right? Like Vihainen was a character used to frighten children and make them come home after, before the sun went down, kind of thing. So I know that Taimi has some recollection of those tales. So here, you're seeing that nightmare from childhood kind of made manifest, and one of these weird spiny legs kind of steps out of the thing and thuds into the ground on the near side of the campfire. And when you see that part of it step through and have contact with the physical earth, it brings it home that this thing, this entity, is very real.
Does it look like has there ever been art of it? Like, is this what it's been described as?
There have been, that's a really good question. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think the art, yes, I think there might have been some primitive, little, well, I'm going to say that actual representations of him would be avoided because it would be considered a bad thing, right? To actually make a little thing of him. But warnings would be irregularly shaped, like jagged marks or certain arrangements of material, a nail and a broken bramblecat talon arranged in a certain way might represent Vihainen. I think he's been verbally described, but there's probably not a lot of art representing him.
How tall is it?
I think I'm going to say Paiviki comes up to basically his chin. And Paiviki's like 6 foot something, right? So
Yeah,
he's maybe 8 or 9 feet tall at the hump.
Yeah, I think Paiviki's like just over 6 feet, 6'1" or something. Yeah. Okay.
So I would say, okay, maybe first thing is, Mirren, do you do anything when you see this flash of light? having just made your way all the way back to the wagon from.
Do you think so you think it happened like as soon as I got back? So it
was kind of,
not much time.
I think, well, it took a while to get back, and then everybody went to sleep, and basically camp had been settled back at Paiviki time yard. So I think it was kind of a middle of the night. It was already nighttime, so maybe it was something like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. So, and I'm just going to say you were on watch, right? You and Topias probably switch off watch. So you were on watch when it happened.
Yeah, I would wake up Topias. Oh, yes.
I was going to say, Mirren,
Yes.
I was remembering, Mirren, you had to fight your way back because that crazy escaped cultist came after you, right?
Yeah, that was what was his name? Otto?
Osmo.
Osmo, yeah.
Yeah, Osmo. Sorry.
He intercepted Mirren. Mirren was on her way back and got intercepted by that guy, and then there was a fight.
Yeah. Well, Mirren would wake up to PS and let him know that she has a bad feeling and she kind of wants to go back, but she thinks Tapias should stay. Tapias, is that okay?
I mean, one of his tags is dependable. Boy, does he
Right.
want to go though. Boy, he's like, but I can't, but they're in trouble. Let me come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Itzy will be fine. Nobody's gonna hurt Itzy. And you know, I'll tell you right now, you know that Tobias can't keep up with you.
Yeah.
No.
Like when you're moving across the
Yeah.
landscape, you can move, you know, like at least 1.5 times as fast as Tobias.
I'll be honest with him and say, Tapias, I have a very bad feeling about this, but we've trusted you for so long that if you want to come, you can come, but I'm gonna run there as fast as I can.
Okay. And then do you just take off?
I'll
Or do you,
wait for him to respond and say like,
okay, he's sort of like you've totally put the responsibility. You said like, okay, you can make that choice, but I gotta run. And he's like, oh, okay, go.
thank you, Tapias.
I'll follow after you. Okay.
He must know how to go. If he decides to go, he would know how to find it though, right?
Yeah. You've sort of described where it is, and from your vantage point, you can see the general area, and it's actually, as we've established, it's a fairly bright night. So he can't,
Okay,
you know,
good.
you can see so well that moving across this landscape would be super easy for you, but so he'll have to be a little more careful, but he can see, he can find his way.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
You know, that's a good.
There is a chance he might get lost, but but it's not, you know.
I think Baron's grateful that he's okay with that. And yeah, if it really goes bad, it would make sense for Tapias to come look for us or something like that anyway. So okay.
And so Mirren takes off. All right. Back at the campsite. Sorry, I keep saying campsite because there's a campfire.
A campsite inside of a village.
Yeah, this outpost or whatever it is, this hideout, this cultist camp.
So is there fire coming out of that rip?
No, you can sort of see it. There's like it's like an unnaturally colored fire behind him through the rip. And then when he
behind
the campfire that was in your world with that burst of flame is now actually extinguished. There's like embers there. So there's flames behind him in the other world, but there's no campfire in this world.
So badass.
So he steps out, 1 foot down, and like lowered head, and that one eye locks onto Paiviki.
Yeah, she's completely out of magic. She's forgotten all of, like, magic has abandoned her.
Oh my god. Has she forgotten all the 3 spells?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Bright Fog, Lock of Mud, and Weave of Force. They're all wow.
One after the other, she's failed.
Wow.
I mean, she did some magic stuff successfully, but also some unsuccessful ones. And she's completely out of metal as well. She spent that and forgot to
wait, she must have had, but there was time between Mirren leaving and you guys setting up camp and stuff. You must have had time to regain your metal.
Oh, does that count?
Yeah, because all you have to do is you know, the phrase is like when you have a moment to,
Okay.
yeah, you can totally get your medal back.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Phew.
Um,
Yes.
I look very betrayed to Paiviki. What have you done? And then I loose an arrow at it. I would like to take some sort of minus. I don't want to get my full +3 on this.
That's not the way it works.
Okay, all right.
No, but we do take your condition into account, right? So like, if things, it's basically like, given your condition, like, what do you think Paiviki's capable of?
I don't know, but Taimi.
Sorry. Yes, but it's these names.
I think Taimi can shoot. I think she can shoot, and we'll just let it fall where it may.
Okay, so
I still think that she's not going to be able to do the targeted shots that she can normally do.
Well, one thing we could do is roll damage twice, take the lower, if that appeals to you, right? Like, so it's
sure. I mean, I don't want to force rules upon you. That was unfair of me to request them.
No, it's just the negative. It's only the negative modifiers run a little bit counter to the way modifiers are supposed to work. But we can like, we absolutely should like house rule stuff as the occasion arises.
Yeah, I just think that like fear, and I mean, but she could also get off a very lucky shot, right? So
right.
If that happens, it happens.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay. Well, that is a 6 + 3 is 9, and I'm happy to take a 9.
Okay.
And then a D8 damage is 4.
Okay. And mark off an ammo, roll damage twice, and take the lower, or attract unwanted attention.
Oh, I'll roll twice and take the lower. That's perfect. 2. That's 2 big damage.
All right. Well. Okay. Is this just like one arrow, or is it like is it a volley?
Just one.
Okay, so you managed to like knock one, and it like it sort of hits that hump on his back and goes ping, and just kind of like bounds off of it. Doesn't penetrate the hide.
Okay.
So we've got Paiviki and Taimi.
Yep.
And these other 3 folks.
Yep.
Who are definitely all awake now.
Yep.
But who are in rough shape, right? Because they had been prisoners.
Correct.
And I'm just in terms of game mechanics for a moment. Did there used to be, I don't know if there still is, like a move that's like a runaway? Did you get rid of that move?
Yeah, I know. Let's see here. It's been a while since that's been called upon.
Like a disengage.
There's a move called. Sorry, just trying to pull up the.
Lead the retreat.
Lead the retreat.
Retreat.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is that still in the books?
That is still in the books. Let me go share. There we go.
In the draft that I have, there's a placeholder for an illustration that says illustration of villagers fighting monsters getting slaughtered. Pippers.
Yeah, lead the retreat. When you urge your comrades to follow your example and run for their lives, burn 1 charisma, turn tail, and then roll charisma. On a 10 plus, each person who runs, including you, takes +1 ongoing until you stop fleeing from the threat.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds similar to
To leader, right?
similar to leader, but specific to running away.
Right, and anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it, right? I mean, I think we've got this angry god and these creatures that were human before coming after us, and I I think Paviki, I think she's going to use her leadership and kind of hustle over to those 3 of them and say, all of you, run now.
So not leading the retreat, but instead commanding people to run.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, if we look at the fighter's leader move, when you bark commands in the heat of battle, roll charisma. Okay. And you're telling that to everyone, including Taimi?
Yeah, I just say, just in case Taimi decides to run too.
Yeah.
Then Taimi will get that,
get that bonus. Yeah.
The inspiration of a sound piece of advice.
Oh, awesome. And the advantage to leader is you don't burn charisma when you use it, right? Because you're not being a coward. You're telling other people to run. You're not running.
So I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Paviki could still run or not run, but it doesn't affect it.
Okay, make the roll. That's 2d6 plus your charisma modifier.
All right, I got a 7 plus 2 is 9.
So at that level, it's all allies who obey take +1 forward to whatever their next roll might be.
Okay. Yeah, I think that maybe is it, because she's down to 6 luck.
Okay.
So I think she's not going to burn any luck for that situation.
Okay. Armis, oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna roll for these guys to escape, and because you made this call. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have Donna roll because Donna's far away. So Donna's gonna roll for these people to run away. And Taimi, how does Taimi respond to that call?
She runs. She runs.
And which way would she run given our situation here? Would she run? So the command that Paviki's shouting, the 3 other people are all going to head towards that rope bridge, essentially, because that's sort of the immediate way away from the creature from where they are located. But yeah. Taimi, in order to get away from this creature, could kind of run any direction except towards that hole in the wall.
Yeah. No, that's actually the direction. Oh, we don't want to get too far away from the light. No, well, what are you doing, Paviki?
I think she's going to just guard their backs and run as well.
Okay, then yeah, I'll run alongside you.
Yeah, just kind of.
So I guess we're all running towards the bridge.
Okay, and Taimi just kind of hesitates for a moment to stay close to Paviki, and then you guys are going to book it together. Okay, cool.
All the heroes in the story, we're all eaten from the inside out by Vahainen, or turned into gloves for his cruel hands, or made into a stew for him to throw on the floor disrespectfully.
Oh, that is the best. I made you into a stew, and then I'm just gonna throw you on the
Chaos.
I'm not even gonna eat you.
Here's all the garnish and everything. There's nothing in the stories about anyone defeating or surviving Vahainen except through trickery.
Nice. Great.
And Paviki says, and that's why we should run.
All right, so Armis and Minya burst out of the tent and make a run for it. Ilka also splits, and of the three of them, we just roll for the person who has the worst chance of success, and that is poor Armis, because one of Armis's tags is clumsy.
Uh-oh.
So Armis staggers out of the tent after his daughter. She's quite nimble and quick, so she's well on her way. And then Donna, will you roll 2d6? There's the +1 for Paiviki's command, but Armis is at -2 to start, so it's a -1 total modifier. So 2d6 -1.
Ooh. Oh, well. Okay, so I rolled a 8 -1 is 7.
7, okay. They do it with lesser effect rate across overseen consequence. Okay, so he is making his way down that hill, and he stumbles and falls. I can make this a little clearer. Okay, so he falls right here, at the foot of that hill. Ilka and Minya are past him near the rope bridge, and you two guys are running next to the tent down towards them. Vahainen and his two lackeys are and it's like spider clatter kind of rapid movement that they're making coming after you. So that's what you're looking at. Between you and the rope bridge, Armis has tumbled to the ground, and the creatures are in hot pursuit.
And I think maybe Paviki would just kind of scoop him up, throw him over her shoulder, and just keep going.
Okay, great. I think in the high pressure situation, that's like a dexterity roll. The strength is no problem at all, because Paiviki's he's quite, he's like small and unfed. So he's not going to be a problem to pick up. To do it quickly will require a saving throw with dexterity.
All right. Yay, Dex. I rolled an 11.
Okay, great. So it's like a
+0.
+0. Wow,
Yeah.
Fantastic. So yeah, you dash past, you reach down, you just scoop them out without even breaking your stride. Oh, that was an accident. And there's an easy way to move things around. I'm sure there is, I just don't know it. Okay, so then let's see, at that point, I'm going to say okay, so then Minya and Ilka have kind of scrabbled across the bridge carefully. They have to kind of slow down a little bit. Taimi is behind them, and you are kind of carrying Armis over one shoulder. The creatures are right behind you. So a quick glance back, and you yes, but it doesn't sound like that. It's more like Yes. Run. And so you're at the foot of the rope bridge. Taimi, even in your weakened state, you shouldn't have a problem making it across this bridge. Paiviki, you've got this guy over your shoulder, and you feel like in order to make it safely across this bridge, you'd have to take it at like a measured pace, which would allow them to catch up with you. So to make it across quickly, it would take a saving throw.
Can I think I shout to Taimi, can you take him, and just kind of like do like a handoff, like put him down on the bridge, so that he can walk himself across.
Yeah, he can walk himself across. Tiny, there's Tiny can't carry him.
No,
Okay.
I didn't mean carry him, but just she puts him down, and she's just like, take him, like, and then she draws her sword to turn and fight.
What? Oh crap. Okay.
No, I don't listen to you.
That's fine. I'm just saying what she says.
Yeah. Right. Of course. Yeah. That's what
Yeah. I get it.
Because she can't outrun him. So.
Well, I should be clear. You can make a roll to outrun him across the bridge. It's just that moving safely across the bridge, he will catch up to you.
Moving safely.
Yeah. You can still make a roll to just book it. It's just obviously it's risky because you're on a rope bridge over a bottomless chasm.
I see. Right.
And if you miss this roll, it would not be a plummet to your death, but it would be one step closer to bad news.
Right. But if we're on this bridge, I'd be fighting somebody, not necessarily all three of them at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. If we get to the other side of the bridge, we could bottleneck them. Given they don't like jump like freaky grasshoppers.
Or fly with improvised wings or something.
Yeah. Oh, frick! I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I just thought that Paiviki stands a better chance fighting than she does running because she's not very nimble.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get it, and I like, especially, if we're smart about our moves, I can reduce the armor on these things, and we could really, really F them up. I would like to make an intelligence check because I really don't want to meta this, and I want to see if Taimi can come up with the plan that John Shidurgeon is thinking of.
Okay, great. Love it.
Okay, that's a big 7.
Okay. So there's if you're making a saving throw with intelligence, you do it, but there's a catch. There's a worse outcome, hard bargain, or an ugly choice. So maybe there's some part of your plan that is flawed. But what's your plan? Yeah, maybe we can talk about that. What's your plan?
Trick it onto the bridge. Cut the ropes. Send it to the rocks below, just like in the stories.
Just like in the story. So there's just like a quick exchange. Like Armis is on his feet, and Taimi sort of says that to Paiviki.
Yeah, I think I see him running across the bridge. I see the wobbliness of the bridge. I glance down and see the rocks below, and that's what like clicks in my head.
Okay, great, love it. Yeah, so Paiviki, you've drawn your sword. Armis is past Taimi, moving across the rope bridge. The things are almost at the near end of the bridge. Taimi is not turning and running, right? Taimi's kind of right there behind.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Paiviki is just going to like take a step towards them, but not, but make it so that they would have to come onto the bridge in order to fight.
Okay, so to take a sort of challenging step, but
Yeah.
still allowing room for them to get onto the bridge. Okay. Oh boy. So there's like a as these big feet come down, and the two crab-like cultists on the side kind of like they kind of like surge this way and that way, and then they kind of skitter to either side, and Vihainen comes right at you, and oh, interesting. He's got these big, yeah. So he takes one step onto the bridge, and his leg goes right through it. Like it just knocks away one of the boards, and he kind of like slips a little bit, and then sort of catches himself. So now he's kind of like at the head of the bridge, but the fact that his foot actually went through it, and he's so big, the bridge is obviously unstable to him. So he pauses for a moment there.
Okay, well then that's not going to work.
I mean, it might still work, but I just in my head as I was working through the steps, I would, I feel like that's what would happen with him.
Yeah, especially the way you drew him, the way he is. He does look like he has these very fine points of pressure.
I think he's keeping a good grip on the rope, it has, I'm assuming it has
yeah, it's not in the picture, but it's got actually not two, but just one kind of rail that goes across.
She's keeping a good hand on one hand on that.
One hand on that, sword on the side.
She's ready for that bridge to go, and just if it does, she wants to be holding tight.
Yeah, well, we can try to lure it out. I'm gonna take a pot shot at or I'm gonna take a shot at Vihainen to try to like goad him closer.
Yeah. Okay, so he's like right there. His little buddies are on either side of him. Okay, so you're trying to, got it. So you're trying to put a thorn in his side so he'll come after you. So he'll step further on the bridge. Okay, got it.
Okay, that's 7 + 3 is 10.
Nice.
I am going to use one of my remaining medals, and I'm going to strike hard, which means I burn 1 strength, and I reduce the target's armor by 1d4.
What?
In addition to doing +1 damage.
Ooh.
So damage first. The damage is 5 + 1 is 6.
Okay.
The armor reduction is 2.
Wow. Huh. Okay. I think this is definitely a volley. This is not just one arrow, right? Because you're breaking up his, so it's like maybe it's like Taimi like mustering, right? Like whatever energy she has left, and it's just like right by, it's like right past Paviki's ear. Rapid fire. A handful of arrows, just like all of a sudden they're bristling out of this thing, and it like it recoils and lets out a horrible growl, and then it kind of lowers its head and like turns that one kind of glowing eye turns towards you and goes, and it's coming at you. It definitely took the bait. Yeah, so it's coming onto the bridge. It sticks one of its legs onto one of those planks, and it kind of holds but wobbles, and then it's coming at both of you, I guess. To it, you're both sort of the same target.
I mean, I would just reiterate, run, and try to get Taimi to keep moving. Like,
yeah, I'm moving across the bridge.
Okay. All right, and then Paiviki.
Yeah, I actually got both hands on the rope now. Got my sword in the sheath, and it's just like
okay,
running, like trying to like make sure that if the bridge fails, that she's got a hand on it.
Okay, so you're trying to outpace it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Ooh, 11.
Oh, I thought that was a bad ooh.
Another
Wow.
lucky dex roll.
All right. Yeah, so it there's like there's one point where it sort of stumbles and its leg goes all the way through again, and then like it catches one of its spikes on that rope and then pulls itself up and like takes a lunge at you, and like you can just tell that it's one of those spikes narrowly misses your legs behind you as you sprint the remaining distance across that bridge until you are on the far side. So you and Taimi are on the far side. The three others have sort of disappeared into the trees. You don't even know where they are, but where they are, they're away from this situation. And easy. And it is now in the middle of the bridge. And the other two things are kind of crowding onto the bridge behind him.
I mean, I sort of assumed that Paiviki would have the same idea as Taimi in terms of a sneaky plan. But I don't know if that's legit in terms of, because you said it out loud, John Shadurjan.
Yeah, you could shout something in the heat of the action if you want
Yeah,
to. But
I thought that was Paiviki saying it out loud. Or so sorry, now I'm doing it. I thought that was Taimi saying it out loud.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were? Okay.
Yeah.
So then as soon as we get over the bridge, just taking out the sword and cutting those ropes
Yeah.
out of the room as fast as possible.
Okay. I think Paiviki is a mighty warrior. And there's like 3 ropes that need to be cut in like 1 or 2 slices of that blade. So that's going to be a strength roll.
I'm going to use one of my bonds with Paiviki.
Nice. What does that look like?
I think that's me cutting the easiest rope, which is probably the railing rope.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Leaving the 2 thicker, like ones that you walk on that with the boards on them. That's for her.
Is it like with your knife, or do you have a short sword or something?
I do have a short sword, yeah.
Okay, so you pulled out and you're like sawing away at that. Paiviki draws her sword and starts whacking at those bottom ropes.
Does that affect my roll? Taimi helping me, or?
Yes, it gives you a +1. Yeah.
That's a +3 total. 6 + 3 is 9. This is not Ben Barr's. It's just a saving throw, right?
I mean, it could have been if we had called it.
Yeah. That's a different move.
Right. It could have been Ben Barr's lift gates if we had called it.
Yeah.
And we could back it up and do that if you'd prefer.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Necessarily. I mean, one has more specific rules, but other one, similar results.
Yeah. Okay, so you hack through, like the first one goes in 1 slash. So at that point, there's only you do that, and there's only 1 rope left. So all of the boards that form the platform, like they sort of torque sideways, and it suddenly becomes this like wobbly thing, just holding on by this one connection. Vihainen like slips, staggers sideways, jams one of those spiky legs through the boards. And like, so basically the rope is like in his armpit. The last rope is in his armpit, and he's like scraping to grab onto the other one. And he does like this, and you see that as like a bat wing like shape bursts forth from his back. And he's definitely kind of against all expectation. You have you have this demon of chaos on the ropes, so to speak.
Ooh.
Not different kind of ropes than the boxing ring, but he's definitely like flailing and like, you know, roaring in frustration. To the two smaller things, I'm having a much easier time kind of hanging on, and they sort of are just acting in this kind of erratic way. They don't, you know, they sort of they seem somewhat mindless in their activity. Yeah, and at this, and then at that same, yeah, so that's the situation. And you're like still sawing away at that last rope, and it's not giving.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whatever kind of tar they used to bind that rope is like super hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of stuck to the rock.
I will, while you're sawing, I'm going to take another shot. And I'm going to use a metal. This might drain me. This might drain me of my metal. I'm going to use a metal to add +1 to my roll, so it's going to be at +4.
Oh.
What my goal is that I roll well and that I can give it a handicap with my last metal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hopefully like stunned or something, so that it can't fly.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's 11 + 4. That's a big 15.
Woo!
Whoa.
Let's go. So if I spent a metal and I was at 1 metal, if I roll +12+, I get that metal back.
That is correct.
And that's not a nat. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, obviously that's not natural.
Yep. It's when you fight or shoot or throw, and you regain. So you had 1 metal, you spent it for the +1, you get that metal back, and now you can spend it to inflict the.
Oh, I had 2.
You had 2. Okay. Oh, so
2.
you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave this exchange with 1 metal left.
Got it. Yep.
So first off, my damage. My damage is 7.
Oh my god.
And then the handicap, inflicted condition, stunned, hindered, etc. of your choice on the foe. I understand that like causing such a huge creature to be all over stunned is unrealistic, but really I just don't want him to be able to use that bat wing for 1 duration.
What if you you just sort of like judge the shot just right, where it's not like full force, it's just like medium force, and you lodge it, like you pin the wing to his body.
Ooh, that's
right?
great.
So that he's just like he's like getting it going, and you see the other one, the like his left shoulder blade is starting to kind of expand also. But this one bat wing kind of flaps back, and right at this moment where it flaps back against his body, the arrow, your homemade, not steel tipped arrow with feathers from a particular bird, right? Like there was like I remember you described it was like green feathers or something like that. Yeah. Pins it like up to the feathers, right? The arrow goes all the way in up to the feathers. He lets out like a horrific roar. At that same moment, Paiviki, actually no, yeah, you don't actually saw through the rope. It's just it's too tough, but that actually makes him lose his grip, and he just lets out a horrific shriek and falls into the darkness. And then so the rope is just dangling there, kind of twisting. He falls, and you hear his kind of like cry of fury from below, and then there's like a kind of sound from not too far down. Like it wasn't like he fell all the way out of sight. There was just only a few seconds passed, and then you heard this sound, and then there's nothing. And on the other side of the bridge, one of the things just kind of like jumps after him, like as if following its mother or something like that. One of them just kind of jumps off the bridge into space, and the other one just like is moving around erratically on the far side of the rope bridge. And then kind of does a little, it kind of bumps into some part of the ruin, then kind of like flops on its back, and its jangly legs are twisting, flailing about there. And Donna, where you are kind of, making your way as swift as possible across this rocky landscape and through the trees, you hear that this echoing, well, you've heard these cries periodically, right, of this thing making noise, but this one, is particularly dramatic. You hear that echoing across the mountainside. So Paviki and Taimi, when you look over the edge down below, this fissure that the rope bridge spans, even though it's bright, within 20 or 30 feet, it's just sort of pitch black in that fissure. So you don't know, you can't see anything, but you've seen, there's a moment you're like catching your breath and sort of scanning that darkness, and you don't see anything at all.
Do we hear anything?
Yeah.
I mean, you hear like there's like a long silence. You try to control your breathing so you can hear more quietly. You hear like a rock, a small rock, like, that may have just been dislodged from higher up. You don't hear anything beyond that. And then on the other side of the rope bridge, the cultist creature that's still there, like, lets out like a cry, and which gets your attention, and you look back over there, and there's still a torch posted at that end of the bridge. If you remember, there were like little torch poles.
Oh yeah.
In the light of that torch, you see that he has returned to his human form.
That's how they tricked us last time when we thought that everything was cool. We all went to bed.
Yeah, I think Taimi just kind of like collapses down on her butt, like, resting up against her elbows, just breathing heavily.
And Paiviki is just kind of standing there and sort of in disbelief because it all happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Over just a few minutes, and and then she realized what a terrible thing that she did to exacerbate the problem, and she's just kind of shaking her head, and she says, "I'm sorry, Taimi, you're right. You're right."
These are things that are beyond us. These powers that you wield, do you even know where they come from? Was it your power that called to him?
It was my own arrogance.
Yeah, Taimi just falls back on her back, in knees bent, and just closes her eyes and just, breathes and kind of catches her breath.
And then you guys are both aware that Ilka is standing like 10 feet away. He's reemerged from the forest. And he says, you have bested Vihainen. We saw it. And behind him, you see Armis and Minya have emerged as well. And yeah, I'm just going to show you what they look like here. And Ilka says to both of you, but because Taimi's kind of collapsed, you know, making eye contact with Paviki, but intending this sort of for both of you, like, who are you to do this thing? Surely Jumala himself has sent you.
In a way, we were told that there were followers of Vihainen by the
Hisi.
Hisi.
Yeah.
Without their guidance, we wouldn't have known that this village was in peril. Our coming here did not happen by accident.
No, it did not. I only wish you could have come sooner, but all of a sudden this guy's Christopher Plummer. Only wish you could have come sooner, but the mountain moves in its own time. Thank you. I fear that demon is not dispatched, but perhaps has returned to its horrible home. We should leave this place. I feel now that it once offered sanctuary for me and my people, but now I fear it is cursed.
Yeah, Taimi nods weakly and starts kind of rolling over and getting up. All of the stories about Vahainen were true. Vahainen's terrible presence, his incredible wrath, as deadly and widespreading as the most villainous of poisons. Even his weakness for trickery. And the stories also say that wrath cannot be defeated. So I agree that this place is tainted. And the potential for him to return exists. I will not step foot across that bridge again.
There must be something we could do to end the curse. Some cleansing.
Perhaps next spring, when the mountain snows flow freely across this land. But now we must leave this place. I certainly have not the strength.
Nor I.
Taimi doesn't wish to step foot in that village again, but it occurs to John Cherigan that there might be a great volume of loot to be had, and that perhaps one of the reasons that we are lacking in XP is we're just not stashing enough, jewel encrusted skulls.
Yeah, so there maybe there's like a maybe you can come back to possibly plunder the place.
I mean, it's still night, right? Like,
yeah.
Tiny's not going anywhere besides like in that
Yeah.
tree line to camp.
I guess I'm going to say, yeah. So like, actually, the sky is starting to lighten at this point, and so dawn is not too far away. And if you guys sort of head off back through the woods, there'll just be a moment where, silently out of the trees, Weirin emerges and meets you, partway there. And the Ilka and his entourage are very curious about the Weirin's an elf and unusual in these parts, and so they become sort of shy in her presence and don't really speak. And you guys, I'm sure that there's an exchange of information about what went down.
Which one of these villagers was the one that was almost thrown off the edge? Was it Ilka?
Armis was.
Armis. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Mirren can see probably in Paiviki that she looks kind of sort of stunned and uncharacteristically sort of, what would be the word for it, like cocky. She just looks kind of like
Humbled.
Yeah, humbled, and sort of like she's pale and staring off into space, kind of a thing.
In the exchange, I'll just express that grateful that they are safe and really impressed, like Father Ilka said, that they managed to fight this demon god thing.
I think that at some point we would catch ourselves and then think about that escaped cultist until, I guess, Mirren, you would tell us what happened on your end as well.
Yeah.
So, sorry, did your two cultists die into the same chasm?
One of them jumped. The other one is on the village side of the chasm and just kind of turned back into a human. But we haven't gotten close enough to check pulse or anything like that. When those bone things like retract, is he covered in like wounds?
Yeah.
Okay. He's probably not doing so hot. Timey's no doctor, but
And I think that Paiviki is quite in awe that Mirren dispatched one of those creatures.
Oh, it's it must be those longbows.
yeah, they really were the MVP.
Yeah, we
Thanks.
we forged some pretty reliable weapons, which is pretty cool. I feel like Weirin feels proud of that.
Great. And then we can cut to the campsite back at Topias, who of course also gets the full. Well, I mean, Taimi and Paiviki are tapped out, but Minya is excited to tell Topias the story of what happened, and sort of proceeds to do so. And even though you guys, collapse and maybe, I'm going to say, well, this is definitely not going to be a restful night's sleep, but it's morning, and I guess the question would be, are you going to just like take a full 24 hours on this spot and actually try to get some actual rest, Or yeah, is that what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Taimi's plan.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we're still like not even 12 hours away from her getting like exercised. Yeah, she's so spent. She's like delirious with exhaustion.
Yeah. Okay. So for that sleepless night, everybody takes an ability point of damage. And then after a full 24-hour camping out, we'll figure that out as well.
So it's your constitution.
You decide. It can be any ability, actually. You know, you can get lack of sleep and proper nourishment will have a very varying effects depending on how you want to handle it. But that's your call. So is there anything else anybody wants to do before we sort of jump forward? We do a quick roll to jump forward in time, 24 hours to the next day. Mark another day.
So we should all mark off our food.
That is
Oh gosh.
the 3 rations plus 3 for your new visitors, your new guests
Yes.
who are famished. They're ravenous.
Yeah, I gave them food before, but now I only have 1 food left. So
Oh, you gave them food, right? So they don't need food right now, actually. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine.
okay.
That you fed them that night before, as long as that got marked off, great.
But we should all eat.
Mhm.
Yes, so each of you should mark a ration, and
Yeah, I'm down to 0 food right now.
I've got 2 left. Yeah.
what's the wagon got in it?
Oh, good point. Let me check.
Yeah, you must have some food in there.
Okay, not that column. No, you'll be bummed to know that there's no food.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing Topias's ration right now. There we go.
Well, foraging can always happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of deer around here. So
Yep.
how much food do we have total now? I've got 0.
I have 4.
You have
I've
4.
got 2.
Okay. We got 6 food and
There's
7
7 of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In this landscape, luckily, Itzy can browse on. There's enough kind of mountain grasses and stuff for Itzy to get by. Yeah, so now you're gonna hunker down for a day. So I'm gonna have John, why don't you roll 2d6 plus 1 because this region is dangerous.
That would be an 8 plus 1 is 9.
Okay. Okay, so this is just like a total conk out, everybody chill. Oh yeah, what is Paviki? You still got those books of magic with you, right?
I do.
Is there a moment where you like, how do you just not even look at them? Or do you?
Yeah, I don't look at them.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, she's not interested in learning new magic. She's curious. She's really curious what happened and why the magic abandoned her, basically, that she lost her ability to, like, that first time when she failed, like, her grasp on controlling magic, like, just shifted, and she couldn't really see it, or it wasn't nearly as clear. And then when she tried to do magic more, she lost it entirely. And her mind got muddled, and her intelligence went down. So she was just kind of like feeling like confused and unsure of her. She's usually very sure of her.
Yeah.
She just lost all confidence in herself and her ability to do magic, and her own judgment of whether to do magic or not. And she just keeps on all day long. She's just hearing Taimi saying like, what were the words that Taimi used? Like, do you even know what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know where this power comes
Well,
from?
when at the previous session when Taimi was like enraged and she just punched Paiviki. She said something else too. I can't remember exactly what it was. But you know, Paiviki is humbled, and it takes a lot to humble her.
Mhm.
And she realizes it's not Vihainen that was humbling; it was her own stupidity. And the fact that she's usually kind of struts around knowing, well, at least I'm smarter than Taimi, but in this case, she's not. So she's kind of like, she's like, shit. I thought I had one up on Taimi. And, you know, now she's questioning that, and she's like, no, I'm just a poser. And she's just kind of like in this weird. She's not talking to anybody. She's just in this weird funk of
yeah.
She's kind of looking around, and she's tempted to see if she can reconnect with the magical realm and like get into that place that Locke had taught her. But she's also wondering if she even should bother doing magic anymore.
So all those thoughts are racing through
Yeah.
her mind there. Right. Great. And Muirin, what are you up to during this day?
This day of resting up.
Yeah.
I think Weirin wants to cheer up Paiviki a little bit. And then also she wants to sort of sit in the forest, sort of like listen and enjoy wherever they are.
Like a moment quiet after all the high tension, just some peace.
Yeah. And then she's always in the back of her mind thinking like, well, she's back of her mind thinking about the poison that was in those traps.
Mhm.
And wondering like what it was made from, like, and you know, was there like a demon stuff in there? Because she's heard of the poison, but
Yeah.
she'd never heard of a person turning into that creature.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very unusual.
Yeah. But can she first cheer up Paiviki?
Yeah. So you see Paiviki looking very different than you're used to, and go ahead and roll to keep company.
Okay.
How many bonds do you have with Paiviki?
I have at least one.
I've got 3 with Mirren.
Oh, okay. I only have one.
Yeah. So you're gonna roll +1 because you're the one choosing to keep company.
Okay, cool. Oh no!
What'd you get?
No way. I rolled a 2.
Okay.
Oh,
So you get an experience point.
wow.
And Paiviki describes how the conversation goes poorly and how you must make amends on their terms before you can keep company with them again. Make amends sounds kind of harsh, but basically like Jan gets to describe why things don't go so great and what will have to change in order for you to kind of have that kind of conversation.
What was Mirren's approach to try to
She wanted to give you your hatchet back. Remember this hatchet?
yeah.
You're so good with the hatchet.
I think that you know, Paiviki sort of senses that, well, no, she doesn't even sense what you're trying to do. I think she's just so caught up in her own frustration with herself and just like danger that she put everybody in, and the sort of arrogance that she had to think that she could kind of just like cleanse this chaos god. And she just goes like, you try to say something nice about her, she just goes into this tirade that's totally uncharacteristic too, of just like how yeah, how arrogant she is, how, you know, she shouldn't be allowed to use magic, and just like sort of fuming about her own attitude, I think. And yeah, I'm not sure what you would have to do to successfully keep company with her again.
It could be you know, enough time passing or whatever you think makes sense for Paiviki to like be able to be open to, you know, an interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely time passing could help that.
So you just need some space.
Probably. I think that I think that Mirren is more, you know, she's got a lot more sort of humility and in that way sort of integrity than Paiviki has, who is all like bluster and stuff. So if there was a way for Paiviki to learn from her, then that would be another thing. I guess she just was in such a mood that it didn't work.
Okay.
So one possible way would be for Muiren to, you think, if I'm hearing you right, to like consciously address your behavior in a way, like recognize what's happening, have some empathy, and then like approach you on those terms, like I understand what's going on with you, kind of thing. And maybe don't be so hard on yourself, like a more kind of comforting approach as opposed to handing you a hatchet.
Well, yeah, I think with some, definitely with some time, but
Okay.
giving her some space. No, I was thinking a little bit more like, yeah, it could be talking, but if there was I think if there was a way that she was able to, you know, by example, sort of show Paiviki how she does it, what's her trick to not being, you know, better than everybody.
Got it. Yeah, Muiren does not appear to have the need to impress anyone.
No.
Right. Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. So a full day goes by. And then you guys can roll to pass the night and eat some more food, unless anybody else wanted. I'm assuming Taimi's just out.
Yeah, Taimi's just out. Unless you, Muiren and Paiviki would like want otherwise. I just think that she takes note of like the kind of outburst that Paiviki has, and just like makes him, and is just, you know, noting the anger. And is, yeah, I think, yeah, she's just laying low.
Okay. Jan, would you say that Paiviki was angry or like,
Yeah, she was angry,
oh,
but
she was, okay.
she wasn't angry specifically with Murin. I think
Got it.
she was just sort of self berating.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody, so we need food marked off for the whole gang. So 7 rations need to
Oh
get marked
boy.
off.
Well, we can't do it.
Yeah, you guys are short one, right?
Yeah. Oh no, but Topias has a whole bunch. But we are going to need to spend tomorrow getting mucho fudo. Maybe, and then maybe tomorrow, while Naimi's hunting with somebody, there could be some looting of the village. Yeah, what do we need? We need 8 total.
7.
7.
The 3 of you, Topias, and then the 3 newcomers.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't matter who. I'll use my 2. Topias can use 2, and then you want to use 3, Muirin?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Or you know what? You do 2, and Topias will do 3. Let's
Oh,
put
yeah.
the onus on him.
How
Okay,
much?
so I'll have 2 left.
So
Yeah.
How much does the PS have?
Nothing now.
Okay, so we're down to 2 food and 7 people. Okay.
All right. So how about Donna? Will you roll to pass the night? 2d6 plus 1. You guys have it. If you have a campfire, it's another +1 on top of that.
Do we?
It's totally up to you whether you want. I mean, you have certainly you have the access to the necessary materials if you want a campfire.
Yeah, I would vote for a campfire.
Okay, so that's a total +2.
I would just ask, I think in terms of like Paiviki's coming out of her funk at all, she gets it to herself to ask Father Ilka if she thinks that Vihainen is present and will come for them tonight, or if they are safe.
It's great. So the sun's kind of getting low.
Yeah.
And Ilka is sort of perched on a rock looking out across Watcher's Climb. And actually, no, I think he probably checks on you because you're probably not doing a whole lot of moving around. He maybe comes and like doesn't say anything, but he kind of like sits down near you, but clearly he's coming over to sort of non-verbally check in to see how you're doing. And then you say, you ask that question.
Yeah.
All day I have been feeling the winds and the moss on the ground. Here the mountain is the mountain. Kakailia, Jumala, whichever name people call it by. In this place we are safe. In that ruin where we made our homes, the Enin once lived and must have passed there. It was a good place for them and for us until Stonebreaker and his people came. They came from the east. This place is not theirs. Although I fear that the appearance of Vihainen may have darkened that part of the mountain. I do not believe he or his servants will come elsewhere.
So Paiviki collects some firewood to make a fire.
Okay, great. All right, so 2d6 plus 2.
I rolled 5 plus 2, so 7.
7, okay. Everyone gets restful sleep. Everybody who ate and drank gets 1 benefit. You can heal the points equal to your recovery rating. Did we figure that out for you guys, what your recovery is?
No. Maybe.
So if you on the new character sheets, here I'll sort of, it's the same for, doesn't matter what class you are, but just as an example, on the fighter character sheet here at the bottom where your hit points are, on the right, there's a box called recovery, and it's equal to your con modifier plus your current level divided by 2 rounded up.
Interesting.
And that's your current con modifier.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, got it.
So that's 3 for me. I have level 6, so it's 3 points to divide amongst hit points and stats.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
You just can't heal luck.
Right.
And so mine would be 3 too as well.
Because you got a 0 con modifier.
It's a 1.
So right, 1 plus 6 divided by 2. 1 plus 6 is
7.
7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Rounded up is 4. Your recovery is 4.
Round up.
Yeah.
Okay, so- okay.
So time you can recover pretty. It's that elven constitution.
We're
Sorry, sorry. God damn it. 36 sessions and I can't keep names straight. Weird. So you can either heal or you can take +1 forward into the new day, but
Oh, so it makes more sense to do
Big
one or
healer.
the other.
I'm sorry, Jason. So you can either take +1 or get an extra point of something.
you can either heal equal to your recovery or take +1 forward to your next roll of the day.
Okay.
One of those two things.
Yeah.
If you'd rolled a 10 or higher, you'd get both of those things, but on a 9 or
I see.
whatever it was. Yeah.
If you rolled lower, then you just get 1 point.
No. If you roll a 10 or higher, you get to both heal your full recovery value and get +1 forward during the day.
Yeah.
If you roll a 7 to 9, you just get to choose one of those two things.
Right.
And you can heal your full recovery or take +1 forward into the new day.
And if you rolled 6 or lower, it would be like something bad happens.
Yeah, it's that's when the judge makes a move. So yeah.
Okay.
Something. All right. So you've done all that, and it is the next day. And it's like a beautiful, that morning when you look out across Watcher's Climb, there's like a huge, just like a vast flock of birds just passing from the northwest to the southeast towards Cold Lake. Just this huge cloud of birds, their wings kind of glittering in the sun and you can hear their distant kind of calls. And it is crisp blue sky. It's a little cool up on these slopes, but the sun is shining. It seems like a good day to start. Although I don't know how you each are feeling individually, but the day itself, I think that Ilka and his companions are very they're except for Minya, they're subdued, but they're clearly very joyful at having been kind of freed from their dire situation there. So they're in very good spirits, the three of them. And Topias, says to notes that the larder is bare or close to bare.
Yeah, we should take some time and get some food together. And and also get some extra food for us all for our respective journeys. Father Ilka, where do you intend to go now? We hail from a village about 2 days journey to the south, Rayuna.
Mhm.
It is a peaceful place, and you would be welcome to gather your strength in safety and in safety. Or are there other villages and lands that you hail from that you intend to return to?
We are from Boyoinen. And then he gestures to the east. And it's about 2 or 3 days to the northeast, actually. So I guess Rayanna would be a little bit closer. And
where
he
do you
says, yeah, go ahead.
Where do you say it was from?
Poyoinen.
Okay.
Pojoinen. But we left there long ago, and we might wander anywhere now. Can you see Mount Jumala from your village?
Yes, we can.
You can. Then it is a blessed place. Perhaps I will take you up on that offer. What do you think, Minya? And she's over playing with Itzy, like she's like feeding Itzy flowers or something like that. And she says, if that's where they came from, I want to go there.
That's great.
But would you not come with us? Are you not headed to your home? Where do you go?
I kind of look at Paiviki, and then I look down. I'm not sure. Originally, we sought to travel to the east, to the north of here, to explore the lands and to find other villages that might want to do business or form friendships or alliances with Rayuna.
Alliances.
Do you not know of the power that grows in the east?
Oh yes, we know. One of the reasons we left Boyoinen. They are there. Are you saying you would stand against the Kokin?
We have before.
You have?
2 villages. Rayuna, don't say it. Oh boy. Ladevisi.
Nice.
3 villages. Yeah, Salt Fallen. Yeah. Three villages we've freed from the coils of the serpentine grasp of the Colkeen.
So now Minya is over and like wide-eyed and like just like kind of astonished by what you're saying. And Armis is also like, he's got his brow furrowed. And Ilka says, you mean to say that you stand against the Korkim? 3 entire villages have done so, and then you have cast Vihainen into a pit? This is the stuff of the old stories.
And then for the first time in all day, Paiviki kind of cracks a smile.
Not all the old stories end well. The hero might easily be in the goulash, cast disrespectfully on the ground, just as easily as the hero is able to build the stairway to the clouds. I don't know, I'm citing some.
Yeah, you sure are. That's good stuff.
Viki
How
said,
long, how long have the Colkeen been in your village? You've been gone for a while, it seems.
Yes, we've been here for 2 years.
2
Two,
years.
two. The grasslands were taken, some time ago. We lived under the Corkine for some time before I and my those who chose to follow me left one night, and we dare not return, for we are considered outlaws.
Outlaws for what reason? Did you stand against the Corkeen?
No, simply for foregoing our duties. In our village, we cut peat to ship to the capital, and with a diminished workforce, the flow is not as what it once was. We would be rounded up for abandoning our duties in their eyes.
As it is the same with the other villages, when the Colkeen find a use for a people, they will exploit them, take what they believe to be theirs, dole out their judicial system. They feel like their word is the final word, and Taimi feels herself building up, and then she exhales. She's very afraid of that rage, still fearful of the poison. And then looks at the Muirin and Paiviki. We will have to talk about our next move.
I would tell the Hisi what has befallen the village and let them know all that went down.
Oh, they know. They watch these slopes day and night, under moonlight and sunlight, and in the darkness. They know everything that transpires here. You have felt the weave, Paiviki. I can tell. Did you not tear it by accident?
I did.
The Hisi are part of it. And that part of it that flows from the mountain itself, they can feel any disturbance on it, like a weaver's fingers on the loom.
They told me they guarded the mountain against people like myself who would use magic carelessly. And I didn't think myself as one of them, but now I wonder. I would ask their forgiveness, but perhaps they know already. And she kind of looks up at the slopes to see if there's any rocks that look suspiciously goat-like.
Yeah, there's a panning shot across a landscape that may or may not be concealing figures there. Yeah. All right, you guys gonna do some hunting?
Yeah.
Multiple parties?
That probably wouldn't hurt.
We could do.
Where will go out.
We could do groups of 2, like each of us and Topias could go in like 2 groups of 2.
Yeah.
And leave the other ones to rest and recover.
Yeah, so Taimi, who would you take with you?
I would take Muirin.
Okay. So Taimi and Mirren and Paiviki and Topias. Is that and me unless Mirren wanted to go solo. I don't know what's the
Oh, no. She didn't.
I don't know if Paviki and Topias are actually qualified to hunt.
well, it's just foraging, so you may
Well,
not.
We could totally forage for
Yeah, you
berries or something.
yeah.
We don't have any ranged weapons, and we're, you know,
right.
we're both from town, and
So the way that it works is if you do have the right gear for foraging, you get extra dice for how much rations you gather, and so Taimi and Mirren do have that extra gear because they got the bows.
Yeah.
So they will be able to. They'll probably get extra rations if they roll well, and then you guys would just, if you and Topias go together, you just won't get as much probably.
Yeah, we're just going berry picking or something, or
Yeah, scraping some moss off some rocks.
root digging.
All right, so let's have who's going to be lead hunter in the Taimi. Or actually, who has the higher? So you can roll either. When you spend a good part of the day seeking food in the wild, roll plus dex to do it stealthy, plus intelligence to recall useful knowledge, or plus wisdom to intuit the best spots.
I have my dex is down because I took some dex damage. So I'm at +2 dex. I feel like stealthy is our bailiwick.
For this one.
And
Yeah, my
Donna,
dex is the same.
just the same. Okay, great. Then so we'll have, just for last, we'll have Muirin roll.
Yeah.
Maybe Taimi's feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah.
And
That's
then with Muirin's help, you get, with Taimi's help, you get the extra +1. So you're going to be rolling at +3 total.
Is that?
Should I take my +1 forward for this too?
Oh, you sort of have to actually. Yeah.
I
Whatever
have
you're gonna
to.
say. John, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I don't need to. I have 3 bond with Muirin.
With the +1 forward, Muirin maxes out at +4, so you don't need to spend any bond.
Roger that.
So yeah, 2d6 +4.
Nice. 14.
Damn. So a couple of longbows, some red deer, and you get to roll 2d4 +2 for the number of rations you come back with.
Well, I mean, that's actually. Yeah, we'll see.
Much.
Well,
Okay.
well, there might not be enough to feed everybody.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's a 1 and a 4. So 5 + 2 is 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we ran into this last time.
Yeah, and I thought I upped the I know that after the last time this happened, I changed the forage rule.
Yeah.
But let me just check my I'm looking at the print out.
We might need to do like an every person for themselves.
Right.
Because if everybody
right.
brings, 2 rations, average.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah, and it should be easier to get food in a place where there's lots of food too. Yeah, that's what I have. Okay, so Jan, will you roll for you? Are you doing it stealthy, recalling useful knowledge, or intuiting the best spots?
I was actually wondering about asking the locals, like, what can you find here on these slopes? What are the foods here?
Yeah, so they can that will count as help for sure. So you got a +1 for their assistance as well. And they tell you there's a particular kind of in fact, I think they're there's something their particular favorite is above a certain level of the mountain. There's an edible berry called cloudberry, which is become, it sort of grows profusely. It's very easy to harvest. So you're going to get +1 for their help, +1 for Topias's help.
Okay. And I'm rolling which stat?
Well, it's probably intelligence, I guess, since you're you're
Okay.
sort of using the help of you're paying attention to what they're telling you about where to look for stuff.
Okay. So I'm down to +1, so I'll get a +3.
Okay.
And I got a 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay. So you get 1d4 plus 1 uses of rations.
I got 2 + 1, 3.
3.
I wonder if it makes sense just to pool all of our food so that we can really keep track of it.
In the wagon, just throw it all in the wagon.
Yeah.
That's
Say
smart.
we've got 10 food, we've got 7 people. Something like that.
Fine.
You got a total of, well, you had 2 left over from yesterday, right?
Oh yeah.
So you have 12 total.
Okay, I'll put it into the wagon. It's actually not a wagon, it's saddlebags.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Forgot it was saddlebags.
What's the weight for rations?
7 weighs 1, and then anything less than that weighs 0.
Ooh. So we have 5 rations after we consume the 7 for today.
Okay.
Yep.
So there we
Yeah.
go. We got some surplus building up.
Yeah, definitely multiple. Like if each of you went out,
Yeah.
you would definitely have a higher return. You just wouldn't get that extra +1, but it wouldn't really matter that much.
Yeah. I mean, I think that maybe we should do tomorrow, like Muirin and I each go out, and then maybe like even a third group of foragers made up of the villagers, and then yeah, and then maybe Paiviki
Yep.
and Topias could either do foraging or do looting. I mean, they probably have food, but
Yeah, I don't know if I would risk going there with a small party.
okay,
Okay,
yeah,
you know,
that makes sense.
this is actually wisdom from our previous game, but like when we went out foraging in very small groups, if you make a bad roll, what that means is you might encounter danger.
Yeah.
Or get into trouble. And if you're by yourself, then that could be bad.
Yeah.
Which, makes logical sense. What happens when the judge makes a roll? And if you don't get that +1, you're more likely to have that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's weighing like that bad roll versus like if we keep on spending like day after day after day doing this, like those bad rolls for like keeping
Those
night.
bad rolls, yeah.
But I
We
totally hear you.
I think we could, just split up with our, just keep people together with the well, we could have the villagers come with us so that they could help us, at least like me and Topias do some foraging, and then split up into 2 groups so that there'd at least be somebody to tell us if somebody fell down a cliff or something.
Yeah, or we could do like, I mean, just like one villager with me, one villager with Muirin, and then you, Topias, and another villager.
So, something like I thought maybe
groups.
Topias and a villager and me and a villager.
Yeah.
Just to go berry picking on the other side of the mountain, or
All right, great. Everybody, okay, you already marked off food for that next night, right?
yeah.
Campfire, pass the night, roll +2. Let's have Jan do it this time.
Okay. All right, I got boxcars.
Awesome. So everybody gets to heal their recovery and take +1 forward to hunt the next day.
All right.
That's a win. What a win. Okay.
Couple of peaceful days on the mountainside here.
I can break up HP and ability point healing.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so hunting the next day, foraging the next day. First team. Who's our first team?
I'll go first.
Okay, and that is you. Sorry, that's you solo or you with the villager?
That's me with, I'd like it to be Father Ilka.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, you and Father Ilka out there. And you're going stealthy, so roll Dex and you get +1 for waking refreshed and +1 for Father Ilka's help.
All right. Ooh, yeah, 11 plus 4.
Right.
Huge gains.
So that's 2d4 + 2.
2 plus 2 is 6.
Okay. Paiviki's group.
Okay.
Who is that? That's you. Is
Me
that
and
you and Topias, or is Topias going off on his own with?
I think Copius is going off with another villager.
Okay.
So it's me and Minya.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
And yeah, she's taking me to the best Cloudberry spot.
Yeah. So that's a ways away from camp, but because she used to be able to get there from where she lived, right in the ruins.
Yeah.
So it has to be kind of like accessible from there. So it's up on a high. There's like a little
Yeah.
ledge, a long ledge along the side of the mountain that she's leading you to. Yeah. So you roll intelligence +1 for Minia's help, +1 for waking
Okay.
refreshed.
Roll intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a +4 now,
Woohoo!
which is good because I rolled a 3. So I just squeaked out a 7.
Okay, so you're gonna get 1d4 +1 uses of rations, but you must first deal with an incident.
Oh gosh, even a 7 to 9 gives you an incident.
7 to 9 gives you an incident, but an incident may not be dire.
That's right. Yeah, could be bag of gold.
You must first deal with a bag of gold.
I rolled a
Here we go. Okay, so an incident. You are in the wild. You're gonna roll a d12, and you're in the wilderness.
8.
Okay. And everything. And now roll another d12.
5.
And one more time.
6.
Okay. So the thing that Minya didn't tell you is that when you this utopian patch of cloudberries is at the top of this cliff, and Minya is a great little climber, but she's not going to be able to come back with more than 1 use of rations worth of cloudberries. Or actually, I should say, you can either send Minya up on her own, in which case she'll be able to come back with I guess if she takes her backpack with her, she could, so she can go up on her own, but it's going to take a while for her to gather everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you get the full 1d4 +1, but then you'd be coming back at dusk, and you'd have to roll to set out to get back to camp without anything bad happening. Or you roll to climb the cliff, and you guys can get back before sundown. Because then you'd both be gathering up there. She's a great climber. She doesn't have to roll to climb this cliff because she knows it really well, but you would have to roll.
Sure, I'll roll. I think Paiviki is, egged on by this kid and is like,
yeah, she's like, come on,
I can do that. So she'll roll. Was it dexterity or
that's correct? It's dexterity. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's doing great with dexterity now. Another boxcars.
Oh my god, awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So you guys are up there, yeah, and I gotta say, it's like beautiful on this mountainside. You haul yourself up and the cloudberries go all the way up the slope, and Mina's already like 20 yards away down, like picking berries and eating them. And you spend actually a really nice midday just up there with her. In fact, why don't you keep company with Mina since you guys are like chatting and stuff.
Okay. Just plus nothing, or
Yeah, that's nothing.
I rolled a 5.
You get XP.
Oh wow.
And I think in the course of conversation, she seems very lighthearted. And just whole time she's been like, it's this way, it's this way. Come on, you can climb the cliff. And then she's like, aren't they delicious? And she's over there, she's like picking all the berries. And then there's something that happens when you guys are chatting where you mention, or the subject comes up of what it was like to live in that place before the cultists came. And
Yeah.
she just clams up. And, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
she just gets really, really quiet, and she clearly like it brings up some memories that are bad for her.
Right.
So then I would say like, and that's a case where just like time has to pass before media would open up again
Right.
with you through no fault of yours, just like
Yeah.
happenstance in the conversation. And you come back with 1d4 plus 1 bucketfuls of
Right.
cloudberries.
John, can you add 4 to the list?
Roger that.
And we're in. Are you
Just
so?
me solo.
Is that you solo? And is Dex is your best, right?
Yes. So
Stealthy hunter moves.
Oh yeah, and that's my trait really. Okay.
Plus the 1 because this is the first roll.
Yeah. Okay. I rolled a 2, so I need to add 3. And then
Yeah.
adding luck only gets you to 6.
That's right. You can't push it over the top there.
Can't get
Hmm.
Guess what though? You get to mark dexterity. How often do you get to do that?
Not enough. Whoa, that was not good. Okay.
dangers of foraging.
I'm gonna say this isn't gonna be like a huge thing. I'm just gonna say that you end up will you do me a favor and roll your foraging right now? You can actually collect I'm gonna let you collect rations for this. So roll 2d4 plus 2 to see how many rations you collect.
2, so 6.
Okay, so you're gonna come back with 6 rations, but what happens is you spend most of the day tracking and like a big red deer stag. And by the time you take it down, you get to decide either you suffer 1d6 points of ability damage to the constitution, strength, and dexterity, your choice of how to divide that up, or you use up 1d6 units of ammo.
1d6?
Filling up this thing like a pincushion.
Dang. I guess I'll take the d6 of the abilities
Okay.
Yeah, just roll. Yeah, just roll 1.
because my recovery is not bad. Okay. 1d6. 2.
Okay, so you take that. So describe to us what do you take those off of, and how does that, why is it those stats? Like, what is it about this hunt that, how does it negatively impact you?
Oh, I think that the deer just must be faster than her, and she keeps trying to catch up to it, and then it wears her down. It wears down her constitution and her dex, because she's really focused on taking it down, but it she gets trapped in like just a chasing thing. And so
Right,
it's
she
not,
can't let go and do some. She's got to follow it through
yeah,
to the point
yeah,
where
and
it's like exhausting.
right. Like, and it's not just like, well, maybe I should wait for it to stop, and then I'll, yeah.
Okay.
So
awesome.
she'll just lose con and then dex because she's not being stealthy that in that way.
And then you get further exhausted by having to lug back all the after it's dressed, after having to lug back
True.
the fruits of your efforts.
True.
Did you already roll the 2d4 plus 2 for how much?
Yeah. Did you add 6, John?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, we're at 20. We're at 21 now, which is great. So today we'll take off 7, which brings us down to 14. So we have 2 days.
We said we were going to have Topias go out with.
Oh yeah, right. Tobias is going to go.
Yeah.
So Jan, roll for Tobias. He gets a total of +2.
Yeah, we don't know yet how that went.
No.
All right. So we got a 5 + 2.
Oh.
So got up to 7.
All right, then roll for an incident, 1d12.
And I think I would have advised him not to stray too far with this old man.
Yes, right. No, he's
I got an 11.
Oh.
The clumsy one too, right?
He's got Armis with him. Yeah, he's got the clumsy one with him. Oh, interesting. Great. Then I'm going to ask you to d12 again.
5.
And one more time.
12.
Ooh. One more time again.
Okay. 5.
Okay. Okay, so it's getting near dusk and you're actually kind of getting concerned. And he arrives back late. Like it's actually the sun has set and people are, a little anxious, like Tobias. Like he sticks near the camp the whole time, and the one time you send him out, he's not back on time. And when he does show up back with Armis, he's very apologetic for being late. And he says that they got caught up over, let's see. So towards the ruins, they went towards the ruins, not directly, but kind of towards and on the upper slope. And they actually found the quarry from which the ruins had been built originally. At least that's what they suppose it was.
Oh.
So they sort of like, Topias just got kind of distracted and caught up in this, like, there is this quarry where, like, from the cut marks, you could tell that these, massive stone blocks had been removed. So he was just completely fascinated by that. So it was just a distraction. And they do come back with 1d4 + 1 rations.
All right. So that would be 5 rations.
All right.
Whoa, Topias, my man.
Berry picking skills, or whatever. they found. Maybe they found something else. What else would you find to eat in a quarry?
Oh, good question. Maybe there's like birds roosting in there that they were like trapping, or
eggs. They could have raided some nests or something.
Yeah, there would probably be some standing water at the bottom, but no, like, oh, I know what it is. They remember how I said there are these freshwater crabs that live in Watcher's Climb?
Oh yeah.
And they're kind of big. There was one in the quarry and they like pushed a rock over and crushed it. So they brought home some there's some diversity on your menu tonight. They brought home some of that mountain crab meat.
Weren't they as big as dogs?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Wow.
They're good size.
That's crazy.
Tiny was carrying around like crab meat.
Lobster.
Yeah.
What crab was it?
That was
Remember
the
thing in the ground.
it was the antlion crab. Remember there was that
Oh
the
yeah,
pit, the
yeah,
pit, the pit lobster or whatever it was.
yeah, yeah. And that was on the way to the cave of the River King.
Yeah. Yeah.
way.
Whoa.
Right.
Back in those days,
Yeah.
we used to pull our lobster out of the ground.
Delicious.
All right, so maybe it's getting close to wrapping up time. Maybe you guys should chat briefly about what your next plan of action might be.
Yeah. Well, let's pass the night so we have
Okay,
like a fresh morning, sunrise.
sounds good. And possibly a cliffhanger. All right, so everybody mark off rations for the full 7 people. Nom
Done.
nom nom.
Done.
And 2d6 plus 2 because of the campfire, plus 1 for dangerous territory, plus 1 because of the campfire.
I got it. Okay, that's a 7.
7 on the nose. Okay, everybody gets restful sleep. Then you get one of the benefits. The
Oh.
recover points equal to your recovery or plus 1 forward to the new day.
All right. Done, done, done.
All right, so the one aspect of the plan, as I understand it, is to send Ilka, Emilia, and Arma south to Rayuna with your blessing and like some kind of token to tell the villagers that you sent them their way. Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
some piece of a cloak or you know, one of our arrows.
Yeah, great. It's got the feathers. The whole village knew you guys were making those. They were watching you target practice. So like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think the best we can do is give them an arrow that like hasn't been used. I'm willing to like mark off an ammo for that.
Yeah,
to
no,
give-
one arrow. You don't have to mark.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
totally.
Just give them like an unused arrow, so it can't be like, oh, you know, they took it from an animal, or I mean, but they could always say like, you took it from their dead bodies, but that's
right.
yeah, well, we'll tell them some detail about La Devacy. You know, who's still in town? Isn't Varpu still in town?
Yes. Yep. Varpu is in fact, I think, in charge of those iron miners that you were getting set to work.
Yeah. We'll tell them some like detail about Varpu. That will kind of make them, you know, make it clear that, you know, they talked to us and that they were friendly with us.
Okay, cool.
You know, and it feels bad. It feels a little bad, you know, putting these guys into uncharted territory, being like, here's 6 rations, like, like all the river, good luck. But I personally, like, John Judurgen doesn't necessarily want to deal with like 3 more NPC mouth to feed.
And also, you know, these guys have lived on a mountainside for a couple of years, so they're not. This is, you know, they actually don't even bat an eye at the idea of crossing this wilderness. They're totally fine with it, even though, you know, they've recovered a little bit in the past couple of days thanks to your care. So they're not. You know, Minya is sorry to say goodbye. Like, you know, she kind of clammed up after that cloudberry picking thing, but I think when you finally do say farewell, she'll be, you know, you'll be clearly kind of sad to say goodbye.
I mean, I'm still interested, like, before we part ways, I'm still interested. Well, no, maybe this is something that we all can do on our own. Raiding the place. I mean, I feel like there could be some treasure. I don't know how other people feel about that.
I mean,
Weirin would be interested in sending someone or helping to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I really think maybe it's like a U3 and like Taimi just stays back with Itzy. sort of thing.
Topias?
Yeah. Or no, Topias could help.
No,
This is-
Right.
Let's
You
include him,
said-
give him something to do.
you said Taimi stays back with Itzy. I thought you meant Topias stays back.
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
With Itzy.
Yeah, I think that
Because
Paiviki
Taimi
is-
wants to
Go ahead.
not. Sorry, is that because Taimi is too affected by that the cult village? Yeah.
Yeah, it was too real. It was too real, and also like I mean all sorts of stuff, right? Like the Paiviki magic thing is still not settling with her well. Like she's kind of going back in her mind, like, and she's not thinking about the good times that or like the benefits that like Paiviki's magic has had. She's like only thinking about like she almost made that like that cliff collapse, right? That was you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Oh, she did make the cliff collapse.
they did
Yeah,
make the
collapse.
collapse.
You summoned one of the demons of the legends, like you know, you've caused people to like do things against their will, just like the hand, like,
Uh-huh.
and you know, she's not thinking about like all, you know, the time that she healed Topias or Yarko. You know,
Yarko, yeah.
she's not thinking about that stuff. So I definitely think that like if people have the RP stones for it, I do think that a group chat, you know, because this feels like a point where it's like, do we want to walk back into a Colkeen situation? Do we want to swing to the south more? Do we want to swing to the north more? You know, do we want to head back to Rayuna with them?
Right.
You know, I do think that Taimi is fearful of Paiviki, but also recognizes that Paiviki isn't willing this to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, I think Paiviki shares her own like uncertainty about magic and like what to do with it. That it seems like it can potentially cause more harm than good. And there they are. And I think that but she's curious. She's, you know, here's this kind of danger that we uncovered, maybe more than we should have, but what to do about it. You know, there's this this cursed village north of town, you know, and in some ways more cursed, in some ways less cursed than we found it, but
Yeah, right.
and I guess Paiviki's wondering like, what can you do to
Sorry,
Very-
just distracted by the Topias thing. At first I thought that was going to be behind it, but
right.
I'm sorry, Jan. I'm sorry.
That's all right. If you're thinking like, what can she, what could we do to cleanse the place or break the curse?
Yeah. I mean, it might be also just be like our understanding, you know. Yeah, even Taimi's understanding of like this place being tainted, you know, might be incorrect. I don't know. Maybe we go to the Hisi, you know, if they have a connection to the weave, you know, we can kind of, I think, you know, that might do a lot of good in kind of like establishing like the connection, our connection to magic and our like positive relationship to magic.
Yeah.
And also, you know, we can either consult with them or figure out some way. Maybe they know a way to cleanse the place. Or I came fairly close to asking Father Ilka to like do the same thing on you that he did on me. But obviously that wouldn't do anything. I think that would just be for peace of mind. That would just
Right.
be.
Well, I think, yeah, I was wondering about asking Father Ilka if he would, I mean, he said, wait until the snows come again. But if he would come with us to the Hisi and talk with them. I know he considers them to be sort of beyond his world, but
Yeah, I would let you negotiate with him. He won't just do it at the drop of a hat, but you could
Right.
probably convince him to do it if you wanted to try that.
what does Mirren think? What would you do at this moment?
Oh, she also likes that idea of revisiting the Hisi and seeing if they have some kind of method of cleansing, as you
Yeah.
mentioned.
Okay, so a consultation with the Hisi seems like it might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, kind of reestablish our relationship to magic, or I can't speak for everyone. Taimi's relationship to Paiviki's magic.
I mean, Vicky would be curious to see what they have to say because they're clearly watchful of careless magic use, and here we are.
Yeah, right. Whoa.
Trying to do something helpful, but clearly maybe not doing it in the right way.
Yeah, man. Great. Okay, that sounds like a good next plan. But one of the kind of sub goals or future goals being to cleanse the ruins. So part of that consultation is the magic thing, and then part of it is like if they have any insight as to like how to remove the influence of Vihainen. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
What do you think?
Yep.
Do we want to loot? Yeah.
And purification will include some looting on the side.
Yeah. You must be cleansed of these evil artifacts of political value.
Yeah, this is definitely evil. I'll take that.
I gotta take that, stash it away. Could stashing be construed as like throwing a golden goblet off a cliff?
Oh, that's a good question.
What's the actual definition of like made inaccessible? It's essentially made it inaccessible.
That's right. Yeah. In theory, you can get it. You can kind of cash out at half rate if you really needed the money. So a goblet thrown off but you could just say like, yes, you threw a goblet off a cliff, but then later you like scrounged through your couch for silver coins or something like that, right? They don't have to necessarily be related. But the stashing is abstract, and it is up to you to decide what that means. So yes, absolutely. Like if offering it to your god, or there was a cleric once who like they basically tithed it to their church, right? Like every time they stashed, it was actually just giving the money to their higher ups in the church. So people come up with different. The most common one is you sort of sock it away in under a rock for retirement, or the equivalent. Just like it's the pirate's booty kind of thing. All right, that sounds like a good plan. And do you want to try to negotiate with Father Ilka to see if he would come?
Oh, sure.
It would mean probably continuing to feed them for another day.
That's fine. We got plenty of food now. Okay.
All right. And you were about to send them off with 5 or 6, right? With 2 days worth, right? Okay, so Paiviki, you want to roll to negotiate?
Yeah. Sure.
With charisma, I assume?
Sure. Yeah. Charismatic. I rolled a 7 plus 2 is 9.
So he'll do it, but only if you concede something meaningful in return. Boy, I think that he would ask. I think he would ask Paiviki to to recognize Jumala as a spiritual force. And I think conversion is too strong of a word, but I think maybe in the past couple of days you guys have had some chats about the weave and other things, and he reveres this mountain, and I think the thing that he would ask of you if you want him to go see the Hisi with you would for you to give some deep consideration to your relationship to the weave, and how that connects to the mountain. He's basically like asking you to look. He recognizes what's going on with you in terms of the your pride and things like that, and so I think he is wants you to connect with something bigger and older and deeper. So if you'll kind of like accept his kind of spiritual teachings for a couple days, he's wanting to go with you.
Yeah, she'll go for that.
Okay. All right. And now we can wrap up.
XP.
If you're multi-classing, you must have met the requirements of both of your classes in order to mark XP. Now, I rewrote the magic user trigger to be you solved or created a problem with magic. because it just makes so much sense after last time. But you did that last time, so that doesn't count for this session.
Yeah.
So you do not get multi-class XP, alas. Fighter Taimi, you solved a problem with physical prowess. Yes. Oh my god, you pinned its wing to its body.
Yeah.
That was like such an excellent use of metal, I have to say.
Yeah, that felt really good.
That was sweet. You get XP for that. Donna, you solved the problem with stealth or trickery. I mean, I actually think that hunting, stealthily hunting the stag and bringing back a lot of rations is solving a problem. So XP for that. Traits. Oh my gosh, is Paiviki gonna change traits again, you think?
Oh, I don't know, but she definitely doesn't get any points for boastful or bold.
Yeah, this was a chagrin episode.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
No, go ahead, Warren.
Well, she respectfully told Topias to make his own decision.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's good.
What's your third one? I have focused and respectful.
Well, it's ruthless, but I never role play it.
It's hard to be ruthless and respectful at the same time.
All right, and then Taimi, curious, resentful, and irritable.
I was definitely resentful of Ibiki. Yeah. In my mind, summoning, or bringing about or calling out to.
Oh yeah.
What's his face?
I think that whole arc of Taimi's distrust of magic, Paiviki's learning magic, like that whole thing and the way it's built up and the way that this is definitely like a kind of dramatic moment in that trajectory, right? Like the magic goes south 3 times in a row, things get worse and worse and worse, like people's lives are at stake. I mean, that all is
and Taimi is right, and Taimi is the one who basically saved Paiviki and everybody else from that creature by shooting it.
Well, infamous idiot comes through.
Awesome.
that was hard.
Mark XP for that.
Wisdom.
Alignment goal. Paiviki, no, right? Just like do not advance your personal situation at all. Definitely reflective moment. We're in lawful maintaining order.
I didn't really do that Unless order is killing behind in, and then the whole group. That's like a
Oh yeah, no, we're
an
not at the
action
whole.
of the group though.
Yeah, we're not at the whole
Mm.
group questions yet. So yeah, maybe you didn't maintain order. And Taimi to disrupt order. Didn't really happen. You were kind of knocked out for most of the time, right?
Or what did it say? Destroy a symbol.
Destroy a symbol. Yeah.
A symbol of order. Okay.
Well, Mirren tried to maintain order in trying to keep Paiviki cheerful. She
Aw,
failed, but
Yes,
that
tried,
was a fail.
not succeed. All right, together, did you make an exciting discovery?
Yeah. The guy.
You discovered the demon last time.
Oh.
yeah, that's true. Well, he did come out of his hole. That was kind of exciting.
Then he actually emerged into
He
the.
emerged and chased us and shouted, talked to us. I don't know, but yeah, that may not be a new discovery.
Yeah.
Cloudberries are really good and plentiful.
Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Yeah.
There's a quarry.
Yeah.
Reaching.
All right.
Everybody gets XP for that. I think between those things, that amounts to
Pretty
something.
exciting.
Overcome a difficult obstacle. Oh my God, yes, everybody gets an XP for that. That was like, this is such an example of why I love this kind of emergent campaign, right? We did not know that Vihaina was going to get summoned.
No.
And then after he appeared, he chased you across a roped bridge for crying out loud.
I know. That was the
like,
best.
That's
Like,
like cliffhanger
couldn't
cinema
craft
stuff.
that.
And then you made him fall. That was so perfect. And then no memorable booty yet. Perhaps when you return to the ruins, there will be some. All right. What's that?
Ooh,
We're good.
You're creeping close. You're knocking at level 7.
I'm 1 point away.
From level
Whoa!
7.
If I had actually been bold or boastful, I would have gotten.
You would have gotten it, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
You, Jason. This was a lot of fun.
It was a doozy. Did not know. I love that. Like the very first thing is like, let's run.
Oh yeah.
As it should be.
No, yeah. I was gonna ask. You know what? I was gonna ask you a meta question about the demon, but I don't want to know. We cast him down. That's it. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
We got pwned.
I'm just glad we survived. I mean, better than survived. Taking him down off the bridge I'd never predicted that.
Would have worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Wait, so do you level up when you get to the end of that point bridge? Or
Yeah, when you fill
have
up
to
all
cross
the
it?
when you fill up all the circles, you're next level.
Okay, so I
'Cause
did
there's
get
that little-
7 then.
Yeah, when
Oh,
you fill in
right.
that last circle, there's that little. Isn't there a little arrow that points?
Arrow, yeah.
That's the little ding.
So which level is this? Is this a move or a?
I think Donna has just reached level 7, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
is that a
Oh,
move
odd
one,
number.
or
Odd
is
number
that a-
move is a that is it's roll HP and stuff. Here you go. So ready? We'll take you through this real quick. Increase your level by 1. So on the front of your sheet, your level goes up to 7. You regain burned luck equal to your current level. So you get 7 luck back.
Ooh. Oh, that's awesome.
Is that a lot for you? What were you down to?
I'm at 9, so I can get 3 back.
Sweet. So you're back up to 12. If your new level is odd, mark 2 different abilities of your choice.
Wait, just mark like one of the 5 boxes.
Yeah. 2 different abilities, except for luck, of
Okay.
course. Luck has no boxes. And increase your maximum hit points by 1 roll of your hit die plus your constitution modifier.
Oh yeah, we're still doing the human thing where we get to mark something for freezies, right?
Yeah.
What is that again? I have to get up to speed with that. You mark one dot.
1 dot on one ability at the end of each session. Yeah.
Okay.
That will change eventually, but right now that's what it is. And then Don, don't forget when you go up a level, your class resource goes up too, right? So your cunning will increase.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, you have a lot of cunning at this point. You're level 7, isn't it? What's your
Cunning
intelligence?
plus int.
Yeah.
Yeah. My int is still, I'm still working up to get to
To get
a
the bonus.
modifier for
Yeah.
int. Yeah.
Anyway, so you got seven cunning. That's not nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
All right, level 7. Oh yeah, how many hit points did you get?
Can you repeat the roll for the hit points?
Yeah, you're a thief, so you roll 1d6 and you add your constitution modifier.
Oh, okay. Oh, what?
You can bump that up with luck.
I
You can
think I have
spend
to.
1 luck point to raise that. Did you roll a 1?
I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll get a 2.
But you have a con modifier of 1 already, right?
Yes. So 2 plus 1 is 3.
Total
So
is
that
3,
means
yeah.
I increased by 3.
Yeah. What is your total hit points at this point?
18.
Have you ever taken any damage? I
Mm,
can't remember you ever getting
Mm-mm,
hit by
mm-mm.
anything. You've avoided, you were unscathed.
I've never been poisoned.
Even in that big fight with the hand, where you went mano a mano with the hand, you did not get scratched.
Yeah, I only like lost weapons. I only like
Yeah,
dropped stuff. Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. All right, y'all. Next Thursday. See you next Thursday, next week. Right? I think that's our alternate week. Okay, great. Great to see y'all.
Good to
Bye.
see
All right,
you.
take
Jason.
care.
Love
Love you.
Take care of your
Bye.
cats.
Love you.
Bye.
Everybody do that.